Okay, so where we're at now is with the top method. I'll just cover everything that can be done with it. I definitely feel that the rebound method, where they come down and land tight, basically that's what you have. Variations with the top range. The pause method, you would come down, pause, land, and then jump. Metabolic jumping, I don't know if I would use it at this point because the movement's not that great. Really, it's almost like jumping rope. I'm not a big fan. Because why? What's jumping rope? It's just kinetic energy used to have you hop a little bit. So the metabolic's not necessarily effective. Now the thrust method right here is, and when I say that, you would kind of get deep over here, just like we did with the thrust method. We'd land a little higher, and then as we accelerated up, you land, you change directions a little deeper, and then when you come up, you snap right there once you're in that top position. And when I say that, that has a lot to do with top end speed sprinting, top end speed running, energy production in those range of motions. And then yes, the AFSM method, you come down, you can land high. The biggest difference, I think, is that you realize your focus on that. Again, this can also, in the top range, can be done with body weight. It can be done with weight loaded. It can be done unloaded. I really like the accelerated band jumps with these. It's super fast, super explosive. Now look, the reason the accelerated band jumps are so effective, in my opinion, hooked to the ceiling at 10, 6 to 11 feet high in this method, is because when you're running and you're sprinting, it's tough to simulate that speed and that unloading. And people say, well, you're a 200-pound athlete, you're running down, there's 200 pounds of force. No, you've already accelerated at top end speed. So you don't actually weigh 200 pounds because you have acceleration and momentum on your side. So this is why this unloaded accelerated method works very well for top end speed focus, okay? It's not mimicking running, but it's getting closer to the speed at which running happens and the high velocity that goes on there. Okay, and also you can even do that banded, but again, hyper banded, body weight loaded, whatever you want to do. This is not jumping rope. This is done with lower reps. Okay, again, I'm a big fan of high quality reps, especially with plyometrics, minus the metabolic stuff, but it's really not plyometrics then. So these are all the variables that you can plug into your program to make sure that people are getting the most specific stuff that they have and the results that you want through running faster, jumping higher. Now this is a various method that you can use to implement that, whether you got to know, and this is the art of coaching. Like I can give you all these programs. I created probably 100 variations of programs out of this whole thing. But so example for what I did is I did a speed test on my athletes, and we found that in our plyometrics, about out of 20 athletes, we had about 6 that needed this. So 6 needed the bottom range, about 4 needed the top range, and then right around 10 needed, we actually needed, so 10 didn't need mid-range, they needed a combination of this and this. And this is just some formulas I have, which I'll share with you later, on how to get the most advanced programming. So what we did was, for 3 weeks, for the peaking, for the last 6 weeks of the training cycle, what happens is that we have my athletes, 6 of them doing this for 6 weeks, we have 6 of them doing this for 6 weeks, and then we have 10 of them using 3 weeks and 3 weeks of this, the bottom one, and the top range zone, okay? And this was in the sport of ice hockey. In this, we'll know that their top end speed will get better. We know that their acceleration strength, and this team, we had 10 in the middle, so this is kind of how I individualize my plyometrics. The program doesn't have to change for them. It did, but the plyometrics were structured and now organized into their weak links, so we have an assessment tool and the weak links are taken care of.